Ba-ba-doo. We're back, boys and girls, gays and days. Are you so excited? I'm so excited.
We could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours.
All right, everybody. It is 2025, so let's just get right into the things. My name is Sam. Welcome back. How are you? I'm Pop Culture Commentary Channel. And today we are going to be talking about some of the tea, some of the wonderfulness of the wonderful shows on Bravo. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of Southern Charm. We have Southern Hospitality has come back and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And let me tell you right now, I have so many goddamn opinions, okay? So buckle up, sit down. You guys know I am your bestie. We're just chit-chatting. We're just talking. Like, we're just hanging out on FaceTime. That's how I like to be. I like to just be that girl that's talking to you on the FaceTime, okay? That's going to be my content for this year. I've decided that I'm just going to talk about whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, and I'm going to do it like this. Like, we're just chit-chatting online because I feel like that's fun. It's fresh. It's chill. It's what people want. Like, no like crazy ass production, no more craziness, just old school. Hey girl, what's going on? I have something to tell you right now. And I feel like that's what's going to work for us today, okay? So let's start off with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, okay? Season 14, episode 6. Now, here's the thing. I have been on and off the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills train multiple times. Some days I'm on it, some days I'm off of it, some days I'm being ripped off of it, other days I'm like literally like so happy to just jump off it while it's at full-blown fucking speed because I can't take it anymore, okay? So what's happening on the old Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is basically we are watching the same story but for the third time, okay? Now hear me out. Here's the story that we are telling, okay? Every season it seems like we are telling the story of one person on the cast going through horribleness, vitriol, sadness, whatever, and Sutton Strack basically telling them what is wrong with them, why they suck, why they need to get their shit together, and then all the women get into a fight. Okay, first time it was Erica. Okay, Erica was going through all her drama, going through all her shit. Sutton called her ass out, pointed a bunch of things out. She didn't like it, okay? Next was Kyle. Kyle was going through stuff with Mo. She was having a hard time. Sutton came in and was like, let me tell you how it is. Let me tell you what's going on. Here's the truth. Here's this. Here's da-da-da-da-da-da. Didn't like that. Now we have Dorit. Dorit's going through drama. Dorit's going through a hard time right now. And where is Sutton? Right there to shove it in her face and be like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? This is bullshit. This is problems. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, I just made a TikTok about this. Now, here's the thing about Miss Sutton. And everybody needs to understand if you're going to be friends with Sutton. Okay? This is what it is. Every girlfriend, and I know if you are a lady, and probably, I'm sure the gays know this too. You have like a group of like, let's say 5 girlfriends, okay? And each girlfriend in the group fulfills something for you, okay? You have like the one girlfriend that like will hold your hand and coddle you and tell you, girl, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's great. It's not a big deal. It's totally fine, okay? Then you have the one friend that's like kind of like a little too serious and like a little too dark, and she's kind of like buries the bodies with you, okay? She's always on your side. Everybody else is a piece of shit. You're number one. You're the best. She doesn't care what you did. She's always on your fucking side, okay? Then you have the friend that's kind of always like in the in-between. She's kind of like a floater, you know? She's not really not on your side, but she's also not really not on your side. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just kind of wants to have all the facts in a row and all of her, like, you know, all the facts ready to rock and roll. She wants to see both sides of the situation and make sure she's managing everything appropriately, okay? Then you have your Sutton Stracks, who are the friends that are going to shine a light on your bullshit, that are going to put the mirror up to your face and go, what do you see? What do you think's actually going on? They're the truth tellers, okay? And usually in the grieving process of life, whether that's friendships, relationships, whatever, usually Sutton is like the last friend you want to see. She's not normally the first friend you want to be around, okay? And that is the problem. Lately, in all these situations with these other women, she's always the first one to show up and go, you're doing this wrong. How dare you do this? I can't believe you did this. What is wrong with you? Facts, 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 facts. And not everybody wants the facts, Jack. Some people don't want to live in the factual world. Some people literally like living in their fantasy world, Kyle Richards especially. And Sutton is also not somebody who is going to be anybody but herself. Therefore, you have to tell her to her face, this is not what I need right now. And the women don't know how to do that other than to be like, just like vipers and just like at her. Instead of being like, hey, like, I know where you're coming from. I know you're a good person. I know that you love me. I know that you want to be there for me. And I totally understand all these things. That being said, though, your type of love, I don't need right now. I will eventually, and when I need it, I will find you. But the type of love you want to give me, I'm not ready for. But I will be. But for now, I need you to kind of like love me with kid gloves. And none of these women want to do that. None of these women want to see that, like, maybe she is coming from a place of like love. Maybe she is coming from a place of caring, but she only knows how to love and care in this very blunt and honest way. And I feel like when you have friends, you either need to like accept them for who they are, or you need to set boundaries, or you need to not be friends with them. And these women don't know how to do that. They're very fucking wishy-washy. Whereas I feel like Garcelle, who's like a full-fledged fucking adult human being, might I add, it knows who Sutton is, knows how she behaves, knows how she comes off, and accepts her for who she is. But she also understands what she can and can't talk about with Sutton. I think she understands the conversations she can have with Sutton. I think she also communicates with Sutton like, this is not something I want to talk about. This is not something that everybody else gets to know about. Like, there are guidelines in their relationship because Garcelle is a fucking adult and has adult conversations with Sutton and sets boundaries. Whereas these other women don't do that because they're not fucking real friends. Because nobody in this group is a fucking real friend. I'm sorry, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are not real, actual friends. They've never been real, actual friends. You know what I'm saying? So we find out that, you know, we've known for a couple episodes now that PK and Kyle are talking to each other. And the thing that pisses me off about Kyle, amongst 700 other things that pisses me off about Kyle, is that again and again and again, if anybody did the exact same thing, okay, whether it was innocent or to harm anybody, if anybody did the same exact thing to Kyle that Kyle has been doing with PK and Dorit, Kyle would absolutely lose her mind, would take you downtown Julie Brown, and wouldn't talk to you. Would not talk to you. If Dorit was doing the same exact thing with Mo, Kyle would lose her ever-living fucking mind. Would go berserk, okay, if that was what was happening. And that's just the fucking cold hard facts. And the fact that Kyle does not grasp and understand that, I don't give a shit if you're sending memes. I don't give a shit if you're sending GIFs. I do not give a flying F. I don't care. Stop texting my soon-to-be ex-husband. My soon-to-be ex-husband who is mean to me, who is nasty to me, who manipulates me. And the only reason why he is talking to your ass is in hopes that he gets some little details or some tea that he can use against Dorit. And if you think for one fucking second that I would have been like, whip out your phone, Kyle. Show me on your phone that you're only sending memes and gifts. I want to see it. That's what I would have done. If I was Dorit, I would have said, literally, hand me your phone right now and show me that that's all you guys talk about. Because to me, in my opinion, I don't believe Kyle for a fucking second, because I think Kyle is a very, very vindictive person. I think Kyle likes to always be on the up and up. Kyle always likes to have tea on everybody else, but wants to make sure no one has tea on her. Kyle always has an arsenal ready to rock and roll, and I just feel like that's how she always is. And I felt weird at the end of the episode when Kyle was being like, oh, we only send memes and gifts or whatever. But then in her talking head, she's like, well, actually, PK's been more of a good friend to me lately than you have. How is someone a good friend if they only send you memes and gifts, Kyle? How is somebody a good friend if all they said is memes and gifts? It sounds to me like you and PK talk a lot. It sounds to me like you're having conversations where you have the opportunity to be good friends. Because you're a liar. You're a liar, liar, pants on fire, Kyle, and you can't convince me otherwise, okay? That's just how I fucking feel. I really like Boz. I feel like everybody is in agreement on that. I really like her. I like when a outsider comes in and has no like really specific, hardcore, in-depth relationship with any of the other housewives, because it's really funny to watch the juxtaposition of people like Dorit, who is like talking about this relationship with Camille that has been going on for years, okay, and how they hate each other and whatever. And Boz is just sitting there like, y'all are fucking nuts. Y'all are crazy. Like, you just come in and you're just ready to just snap at each other at every 5 seconds. Like, why can't we just be adults and talk? And I love the juxtaposition of like someone like Garcelle and Boz, who are living, in my opinion, like fucking reality, okay? Living in the real world on how you have real conversations and real relationships. And then you have these other women who are constantly living in reality TV world, who never know what's real, what's fake, are always in a fight, are always in an argument, don't know how to communicate with each other, have the worst communication skills fucking ever, okay? And then they have like these outside friends away from the show, and then they have these friends on the show, and they treat them very differently than I think they treat their friends in real life. I just find those things, every time you get a brand new woman to hop in, that, and it's always the women who, it's not the women that have nothing going on and they're on the show because they're like, I'm a reality TV star girl, like I'm so excited. I'm talking about the women that come on and actually have jobs, like regular jobs, or like are very successful, have their own thing going on. And I feel like Boz is one of those people. I feel like Garcelle was one of those people. I feel like they were not women that were held down by a man or held down by a man's wealth. They were just like, and they weren't a housewife. They were their own person and their own entity. And like the other women don't know how to handle that. And I find that so fun and refreshing. Like, I just love it so much. Like, I don't necessarily always believe in everything that Boz is saying when it comes to the relationship with the girls and, you know, being on Dorit's side. But like, also it feels like Boz is, and she even kind of said it, she's like, I'm that friend that wants to listen and Dorit's that friend that wants to talk. So it just like works. And I feel like I relate to that. Like, I love to talk, but I don't necessarily love to talk about myself. I love to talk about other people. I love to talk about other things, but I don't always want to talk about myself. And I feel like Boz is like, she could talk about herself for a long time, and she probably has a lot of things she could say about herself and all these stories, all these crazy things with the people that she's worked with and her ex-boyfriend and the death of her husband and like all these things. I'm sure she could have so much things to talk about, but she would just rather like sit there and listen and have conversations and talk about other people's lives and like dissect those. And I feel like that's who I am. Like, I don't want to dissect my life. I would rather dissect other people's lives. Like, I'm more into that. It's interesting because when they start talking about PK and Dorit, like going to therapy for 4 hours, I'm like, 4 fucking hours? I'm like, what therapist are you seeing that's like, doesn't have an appointment after? This therapist must just be a free for fucking all, because the fact that she has 4 hours to give and doesn't have other patients that she could go be seeing, to me, that means you guys scheduled 4 hours. You didn't, like, push it to 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense to me, but also Beverly Hills therapists, I feel like, are on a different level, in a different world, in a different fucking galaxy, and I'm sure the pay is insane. Also, I cannot emphasize enough, I'm begging one of my followers, or whoever is watching this video, I'm begging you to please comment below, how in the F PK and Dorit make their money? I am begging somebody to do the research for me, because I don't want to do the research. I could, but I don't want to. And I want answers. I want real answers. Okay, I want government documented answers. Okay, I want the spreadsheet. Okay, I want the real tax paying answers. Okay, of where the fuck PK and Dorit make their money. Where is this money coming from? Isn't the house they live in a rental? Like, I have fucking questions. Like, it's just giving, like, I'm pretending I'm rich, but I'm actually not rich. I just need to know what that's about. Also, Dorit is 100% a fucking stage mom, but at the same time, I've seen videos of her daughter doing ballet. She's fucking good, okay? She's very good. These two, like, her, like, son and daughter, they're giving, like, twin flame vibes. They're giving, like, they're gonna be besties for life. They're gonna cause trouble for life. Like, I see a lot happening with these two. Yes, and yes, I do. I am so in love with Garcelle. I'm so proud of her. I'm so happy for her. Like, to see her success and to see everything that she's accomplished since she's been on the show, and to see, like, all the adversity she's gone through in such a small period of time being on the show. Like, how many seasons has she been on? Like 4 or 5 or something like that? And to see, like, her growth and to see her family and to see her independence. And she's always been an independent, like, boss bitch. Like, you already you knew that before she was even on the show. But to see all the growth and the amazing things that have happened to her since being on the show, and how she has remained a very sane human being on this show. Like, she's very grounded and knows herself, and I love that about her. Like, I love her energy. There's never been one time where I'm like, ew, Garcelle, get the fucking shit together. She's like the one consistent housewife that I never want to leave, that is always entertaining, that is always good. And she is the one housewife that scrolls online, okay, and is finding out the temperature of the room, seeing what people are thinking about, she's an investigative reporter, okay? And then she comes on the show and she says things that I'm fucking thinking. And I know she's doing that for other people too. Garcelle is always saying what the fans are thinking. If the fans are thinking Dorit's a wacko, if the fans are thinking Erica needs to get her shit together, if the fans are thinking Kyle's full of crap, she says it out loud in these such like articulate, beautiful, smart ways. And then we're all sitting there as the audience like, thank God Garcelle's there. Like, thank God Garcelle is there to ask the questions and to say like the side comments, because she is our voice. And I hope she knows that. I hope she knows that, like, she is the people's champ. Okay, Garcelle is the people's fucking champion. Okay, and I love her so unbelievably much. I feel like I'm interested to see like what her oldest son's journey has been like for a while, because I feel like he's been up and down, especially obviously on Vanderpump Rules. His story on Vanderpump Rules was a part of a big mess that season. And to see his son and to see like all the changes he's made and to hear that story about him out on her doorstep, like begging to be in the pool house. And she's like, no, I can't let you do that. You need to leave. Like, and to see him now and everything that he's gone through. And like, clearly his son has made a huge difference. And like, I'm not saying that people should go out and like have children to make their life better, but there are some people out there that they need like a purpose and something bigger than them in order to like want to be a better person. And it feels to me like her son is one of those people where like he wants to be a better person for his son, and therefore having his son like made him a better person. And that doesn't happen for like 99% of people. But there's that 1% of people that when they have a kid, it's like they finally have something to live for and they want to be better people. And it just feels like that's what it is. It might not be, but like at least that's like the vibe we're getting off of it right now. This is probably going to be like a popular, I feel like this is like a popular, unpopular opinion that I'm about to say. But I can't explain to you how, and I've talked about this with some of my girlfriends that watch the show, I cannot explain to you how happy it makes me that Erica is back, baby. Like, I can't explain to you how happy I am that she has finally come into herself, and she reminds me so much of when Erica first came onto the show. She is witty, she's so funny, she is very aware of what's going on. And I feel like not having Lisa Rinna has made a huge difference in like not having her on the show. She really has to stand up for herself. Like last season and so far this season, I have enjoyed Erica so fucking much because she has been honest. She has been truthful. She hasn't been hiding who she is. She's not hiding. Like, she's very much an open book. I think a lot of the legal stuff is gone and out of the way. Like, the big things that were, like, really holding her down. I think admitting her part in her husband's life. I think apologizing to some of those victims. I think being very reasonable in her arguments and coming at conversations in a more adult manner has made her so much more likable, but she's still Erica. Like, you see her in her talking head and she's still so fucking funny and she's still so silly and she says the funniest things. And her self-awareness, I enjoy. Like, I enjoy that she's not trying to be, I'm sorry, like Dorit. Like, Dorit, I'm sorry, in my opinion, I do not think this woman can own fucking Louis Vuitton on her own. And that's just my opinion. That's what just I feel like. I could be completely wrong. But to me, Dorit doesn't give the vibe of like, I can own Louis Vuitton fucking outright, okay? Whereas Erica is not trying to be that. Erica's like, yeah, I have all these pieces that I have to rewear because it's all I fucking have. And anything that I buy moving forward, I can't just fucking go buy a Louis Vuitton bag. I can't just go buy an Hermes bag. Like, I can't do these things anymore. And I'm aware of that now. And I've had to work really hard for like myself. And I don't think she's getting like money from, she's clearly not getting money from her ex anymore. So it's like, she has all this that she has to do for herself. And I love that for her. And I think it makes her so much more fucking likable. And I love that she is she's still her fiery self in conversations, but she's also because she's not so escalated anymore and so like, just vile when she talks, she gets her point across while still having her little like, her little smirk, her little tea, her little She's still getting her little point across and she's still having her little Erica moments, but she's easier to take in. And I, more times than not, am on her side. Like, even her at the table at the end of the show, when they're, like, asking, like, how, like, I think it was Garcelle, was like, how would you feel, like, if your man was talking to, like, your best friend when you guys were separated or whatever? And Erica very simply, like, she's friends with Kyle, but she very simply is like, that's never happened to me before. I would not like that. Like, so simple, so easy, no craziness, no nastiness. She's just honest. And I love that about Erica, because what it does is it doesn't give anybody like, this is why nobody can go at Garcelle, because Garcelle is not a liar. She's not a schemer. She's not saying the most ridiculous shit. And whatever she says to your face, she's going to say behind your back. Whatever she says behind your back, she's going to say to your face. And that's what I feel like we're getting at with Erica finally. Is like, Erica is saying things to your face that she would say behind your back and vice versa. Like, there's no difference. And I like that about Erica. And I think not having Lisa Rinna is a huge fucking part of that, because now she has nobody like ride or die with her that'll like cackle off to the side with her. She really does actually have to develop relationships and trust with the group. And I really fucking like that, okay? The Viper Room, finding out that Johnny Depp owns the Viper Room, I was like, what? That's gotta be a new concept. Or has that been like the OG, like that's always been happening? Because like Johnny Depp's not that old, but I feel like the Viper Room is like an institution, which also makes me want to know what's going on in the Viper Room. Also, I don't know if Kyle Richards has made a memoir yet, but she fucking needs to make one. And I'm talking like share level memoir, because I want to know like the fucking tea. Because this woman, whether you like her or not, I don't like her. She has been around and seen so much shit in Hollywood. I would love for her not even to write a book about like herself. I wanted to have like an Andy Cohen like memoir where she's just talking about the crazy shit that she's seen, the crazy shit she's been around, and all the fun she had. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see. I could give two shits about her actual life. I just want to know that stuff. And then to find out that Garcelle made out with Johnny Depp in the Viper, like, made out with Johnny Depp, not in the Viper Room, at, like, I think, like, somewhere else. And to find out she did that, I'm like, wait a minute. Garcelle is, like, isn't Garcelle, like, 5'8"? Isn't she, like, my height? And isn't, like, Johnny Depp, like, a little short king? Like, that's, like, fucking interesting to me. Like, I thought Garcelle was really tall and Johnny Depp was really short. But apparently they made out. And you know what? Listen, girl, get it. Do I like Johnny Depp? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Do I think he's a demon? Yeah, I really fucking do. But, go off, sis. Erica's being honored by GLAAD. I thought it was really funny that she wasn't going to do a performance, but basically had, like, the DJ playing in the background and was, like, walking around and was like, this is my song. Domino. Everybody dance. Get up. This is my new song. And then she'd like walk back and then she'd turn and she'd be like, Domino, sing it. And 1, 2, 3. Like, she wasn't performing. She was just basically like dancing on stage to her song while the DJ played it in the background. I thought that was so fucking funny. And I actually wanted her to perform because I love watching Erica perform. I think that Erica doing what she does at her age, it's giving like, it really is giving J-Lo. Like, the fact that this woman can do fucking splits and do the shaky shakes and do the jumps and around and all that stuff. I'm like, Erica, I would be honored to be you at that age. Like, I would be fucking honored. I just love Erica. Like, there's been so many times I've been so frustrated and so angry and so, like, mad at the person that she was being on the show. But at the same time, like, some of it, I feel like she has, like, a right to be like that because so much horribleness is going on in her life. And, like, how do you expect to carry on as, like, this nice little la person? Like, when all that shit's going on, like, you can't do that, obviously. But to, like, see who she is now, like, this is the Erica I miss and I loved, and I've always loved Erica, and I'm just so happy that we're, like, back to this place. Like, I can't get enough of it. I fucking can't get enough of it. I love just, like, this little redemption arc for Erica. I'm living for it. So, obviously, they talked about everything with Kyle and PK. I thought it was funny that Kesha showed up and is, like, besties with Kyle. And then Kyle's like, start the rumors. I'm like, Kyle, you mean the rumors that you fucking started? You don't have to walk out with your lesbian bestie, okay, around all these places when everything's going on. You know where the cameras are. I guarantee you're fucking calling the cameras. I just call BS on her. And you know that Kyle's like, I'm besties with Kesha. You know she's loving that. She's telling everybody, have you met my friend Kesha? Have you met my friend Kesha? This is my friend Kesha. Yeah, Kesha came with me. Kesha is my friend. Kesha talked to me in my DMs. You know Kyle is doing that because Kyle, I think, wants to be young forever. And like, I feel like it's going to get to a certain age where it's going to start getting fucking creepy. But that's just me. What do I know? Okay. We obviously find out that PK and Dorit are basically not talking, that 4-hour, session with the therapist went not good. He's like, oh, this is why I want to divorce her. And that basically that's where they're headed. And clearly they're headed that way because allegedly Dorit has a new boyfriend who obviously is younger. And you know that PK is going to have a young girlfriend and they're both going to sit there and talk about how much sex they have with their partner. And they're flipping up and down and they're going over here and they're sucking this and they're looking that. And like, it's just going to be this nonstop battle of who is the hottest, sexiest new partner and who's having the most fucking sex. Like, that's what's going to happen because that's just how this all works. It's just, oh, they changed my life. Oh, I've never been this happy. Oh, I've never had this much pleasure. Oh, PK used to do this and so-and-so does this to me. Oh, Dorit never did this to me, but this girl does this to me. Like, that's what's going to fucking happen. It always happens. It always happens in these situations. I just don't like watching Kyle behave the way that she behaves when she is mad because she can never just have a sense of a conversation of accountability. Like, she wants to justify her behavior over and over and over again. And then when all the women in the room are like, Kyle, this is not acceptable behavior. This is not okay. Like, we would never do this. If we did this with Mo, you'd be mad. She instantly, like, just goes with Dorit, like, we're not friends anymore. I don't want to be friends with you. And I love how Dorit's like, no. If we're not going to be friends, you need to say it with your full fucking chest. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. And like, veins just protruding out of her fucking head. And it's like, girl, why can't you not just say, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I was mad at you and I felt like I was, doing something to hurt you. And I realized that that's childish and not okay. And I shouldn't have done that. And I'm so sorry. And I will not be talking to PK moving forward. I will make sure of it. You will never hear me have a conversation with him via text message, via memes, via fucking whatever, ever again. And she's sitting there like, oh, really? Really, Dorit? Really? You never had a problem with this before? You never had a problem with this before because they were married, you dumbass. That's why they've never had a problem with it because they were married. You were married. You had this little group of like a friendship. And now you're not with Mo and she's not with PK. So that's why it's not fucking okay anymore. Like, you're a grown... Sometimes I just want to shake Kyle and go, Kyle, are you not a fucking grown-ass adult? Because you need to start acting like one. What is beeping in the background right now? If you hear beeping, I'm so sorry. But I just don't like how defensive Kyle gets. And then she turns into like a whiny kid and is like, I don't want to play anymore. Fine. She's one of those people, and I do this too, okay? Kyle, listen, I do this too. It's not a pretty thing. But it's one of those things where someone's like, you're always like, saying this, you're always doing that. You're like, fine, I will never do that again. I will never play with your ball ever again. I'll never ask you to go out to dinner ever again. And it's like, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to never do these things. I'm asking that in this moment, I did not appreciate this and I don't. Well, then I'll just never talk to PK ever again. And it's like, that's not what we're fucking saying. It's like, have some loyalty. Even if we're not best friends, can you just have a little bit of loyalty? And for Kyle to have the audacity to be like, we all know I'm a girl's girl. The fuck you are a girl's girl. Are you insane? You are not a girl's girl. And I can't stand that about Kyle. I can't stand that Kyle always wants to proclaim that she's this person, but there's all this proof to show that she's not that person. I just don't understand it. And I don't like that she just wants to be a pain in the ass and she just wants to make Dorit hurt and she wants to make sure that Kyle's right about every single thing instead of having the grace. She wanted so much grace when she was going through everything with Mo, but she won't give that same grace back to Dorit. And you don't have to be a yes man, but it's like, just get off of her, like, get off of it. The difference is that Kyle wants to be shady and put her fucking foot on Dorit's throat in the back where nobody can see it. And then when it comes to light, she's like, well, whoa. I don't understand. It gets super fucking defensive. And that's a problem. That's an issue. And like, I just cannot stand Kyle. And I will say this, Dorit's not my favorite housewife, but she is so entertaining. She's really entertaining. And I really do hope that she continues to speak up for herself. I will say, I'm sorry, Dorit, but I do agree with Sutton that I don't think Dorit is mad at as many people as she's perceived to be mad at. I think she really is mad in her life, and that is being projected out to other people. And I see a lot of that when Erica was going through her stuff. Erica, I don't think, was necessarily mad at all the women in the group or having issues with women in the group. Erica was having a hard time in her life, and the only thing that she could do was just get pissed and mad. And we saw that when they went on that vacation at Kyle's house and wherever the fuck it is, Colorado or Utah or something or whatever. And she was hammered and high and all this shit and was acting insane. Like, you just want to scream and yell at somebody. You want to be mad at somebody because you can't be mad at the person that you're actually mad at, and you can't scream and yell at your life, so you do it with these people instead. And I do agree that I do think that's what Dorit is doing right now, is like, she wants to scream and yell and tell PK what a piece of shit he is, but she can't do that right now. And I do wonder how much longer she is going to go on with the whole, like, not telling their kids what's going on. I hope like, current day, she's told, like, they've sat down with the kids and been like, hey, mommy and daddy aren't together anymore. Everything's fine. Like, we're going to be okay. And that they're just amicable in front of the kids. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off, is like, when you have kids, I will say this, I will give Kyle and Mauricio credit in this department. Like, they don't seem to be doing too much in public. Like, they don't seem to have a lot of hate in public towards each other. It's a lot of outsider bringing in, like, conversations. And so, like, I don't feel like it affects their kids in that way. Whereas I can see PK and Dorit, like, going at each other's fucking throats via, like, gossip rags and the internet and social media or whatever. And then, like, getting back to their kids. Like, I could totally see that happening. So, but that was Beverly Hills, okay? That's what was going on the Beverly Hills, all right? All right, next we have a little Southern hospitality, okay? Excuse me. All right, next we have a little Southern hospitality. Okay, so here's the thing. Season 1, watched it, okay? Watched it, loved it, thought it was cool. Very much giving Vanderpump Rules vibes. I think I criticized it because I feel like everybody's trying to be fucking Vanderpump Rules. But it was giving the same vibe overall. Season 2, didn't watch. I popped in and out a little bit and obviously followed it on social media, but didn't really, like, get into it. But Season 3, I'm going to try really hard to, like, stick with it, stay into it, and really have a conversation with you guys about it weekly is, like, the hope and the plan. And also, you guys, Below Deck Down Under is coming back. I love Below Deck Down Under. That's my favorite, other than Below Deck Sailing Yacht. I found that one to be really good. But, like, Down Under, I've always loved. Down Under, okay? So, Southern Hospitality, Season 3, Episode 1, okay? We have a lot of players, okay? The one thing about these Southern shows is they have about 75 fucking cast members, okay? Southern Charm has about 500 cast members. Southern Hospitality has about 500 fucking cast members. And so it's really hard for me to keep up. So I have to, like, write everybody's names down. So we start out with seeing a fight that's going to be happening that has to do with Will and his girlfriend Emmy and TJ basically, like, telling the truth. Like, TJ is a messy gay, okay? TJ is spilling the truth. He's spilling the tea on everybody. He wants to expose everybody. And he does this whole thing of, like, well, I'm doing it, like, for the good of everybody. Well, I'm doing it to, like, tell the truth. Like, these guys are such bad guys, I need to tell the truth. And it's like, okay, well, tell the truth once. And then if nobody fucking listens, too bad, so sad. It's their life, it's their relationships, it's their families, it's their whatever. Who gives a shit? Say what you need to say to that person. Like, hey, like, here's what I know. Here's what's going on. Just thought you'd like to know. You do what you want with it and then move on. Oh, no. TJ's messy boots the house down, girl, bleepity bleep, okay? Very, very fucking messy, okay? And so we have kind of, like, gone through a whole list of, like, updates and what's been going on. But we start out with that fight. And then basically now we're 3 months earlier is where we currently are in the show. That's where Season 3 starts. 3 months before this huge party and this fight that they're all fucking having at a bar somewhere. I'm assuming it's at Republic, but... So Joe and TJ, they are not talking anymore because Joe supposedly hooked up with Luann from Real Housewives of New York, which is fucking iconic. I'm sorry for Danielle, but I'm kind of fucking iconic. And the fact that Joe Bradley is, like, passing his seat around to different franchises is kind of, I'm sorry, it's kind of fucking iconic. But he was dating Danielle from Summer House. And then he hooked up with Luann from Real Housewives of New York OGs. Like, I just think that's, like, not to, like, be on a man's side, but that's kind of fucking iconic in the Bravo cinematic universe. Like, in real life, it's disgusting. You're a dumpster man. Like, I hate your guts. But, like, in the sense of, like, being a fan of Bravo, kind of fucking iconic, I'm not gonna lie. And so, TJ basically exposed all that at the reunion. And which also, why does Southern Hospitality not have an actual fucking reunion? Why are they having Watch What Happens Live reunions? I find that to be like, for me, when I see a cast having a Watch What Happens Live reunion, I find that to be a very big fucking middle finger. I find that to be very weird when groups like not Real Housewives, Summer House Martha's Vineyard should not be having Watch What Happens Live reunions. They should be having their own beautiful reunions just like everybody else gets to have. Summer House has them. Southern Charm has them. Like, I just, like, Southern Hospitality, I feel like, should have their own, like, beautiful reunion with a beautiful set and everything. Like, I don't understand. I find that to be such a middle finger from Bravo. Will and Emmy are still dating, but TJ, we find out, is basically going to expose that Will is a cheater, and he has, like, basically like a fucking double life is what it sounds like. And of course, Emmy's like doubling down and is like, we're doing so much better. We're so in love. We love each other so much. We've never been so happy in our entire fucking lives. Like, fuck everybody else and the cheating stuff. It's not true. Meanwhile, Will is going through law school, has like a summer internship this year, which who knows if that's true, because apparently, allegedly, he's living a fucking double life. But now Emmy is very obsessed with fitness because she's not an alcoholic anymore. She's not drinking anymore. She's not doing any of that. I don't know if she claims to be an alcoholic, but okay, so she doesn't drink anymore. Let's say that. And she's been sober for 8 months. And instead of being, like, committed to drinking, now she's committed to fitness and, like, works out, like, 3 or 4 times a fucking day, is shredded beyond fucking belief. And it's just, like, running on this high of working out all the time. And I can't imagine how hard it is to work in a club, to work in these venues. And, you know, Maddie is one of those people too. Maddie's been sober for 10 years. Like, I can't imagine working in these environments where you know that there's stuff going on and staying, like, a sober person. So, like, props to anybody that is doing that. That's amazing. I'm just very interested to see where, like, the Will and Emmy conversation goes. Because, like, I'm sorry, if someone told me that my spouse was cheating on me and I had basically every opportunity, if they had pockets of opportunities to do that, I feel like you just know as a woman in your gut when your partner's doing that. But Emmy seems to be very much like, I don't care, I'm moving forward, we're going to get married, we're going to have babies. And I'm sorry, girls, look out. When you say, after you've been together for so many years, okay, and you start talking about babies and getting married, and your partner kind of like winces when you say that, that's a fucking red flag. My husband wasn't wincing and being like, ugh, when I would bring up having babies and getting married. He was like, yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Like, let's have a baby now. Let's get married now. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your partner shouldn't give off like that, like they're sick thinking about doing that. Like, that's not how that should be working. And you can tell Will is very uncomfortable about that conversation. Let's see. We see that Mia has moved to Trinidad and Tobago to be a beauty queen, and she wants to be Miss World, and she's dating Troy. They're together. They're super, super happy, and Mia is really excited because she wants to win $1 million, because that's what you win if you win Miss World. But her and Mia have not, Mia and Troy have not seen each other in like 3 months or something like that, so they're definitely in like a long distance relationship. Grace Lilly does not work at Republic anymore. She went on a little ayahuasca journey and apparently saw Jesus. I don't know if she went with Shep on this little fucking journey, but I don't know what this is about, like doing ayahuasca and like seeing God and I'm a better person now. I'm like, okay, sure you are. But I found that to be really interesting. Grace Lilly kind of like bugs the shit out of me. I don't know. I don't know how everybody else feels about her, but like she just kind of bugs the fuck out of me. That's just like, it just is what it is. And we're definitely in the era right now where I think we were with Vanderpump Rules, where we're starting to notice the group not depend on the place that they started at. So like for Vanderpump Rules, they kind of all depended on Sir, and everything was in Sir, everything was about Sir, and then it kind of went to the next restaurant, but eventually the cast started to have like their own lives. They became adults, they had their own jobs, their own aspirations, their own feelings, and we're starting to notice that like Republic is not the glue that's holding them all together. So like it's going to be really interesting, but they also have like a massive cast. So I feel like it's not going to be too hard to weave in and out of all these different stories. And obviously they have like a through line. Like they have like this one story they're going to stick to, and then everybody kind of weaves in and out of that story. But it's just going to be really interesting because you're starting to notice people from season 1, like leaving, having their own ship, but they're still kind of a part of the show. Those characters are always the most interesting to me. Joe Bradley and Maddie are finally dating, and they're obsessed with each other, but Maddie's definitely keeping kind of like an arm's length because of everything she went through with Trevor and how tumultuous that relationship was, which rightfully so. And I think also like in the back of her mind, and she even mentions this later with TJ, how like she knows that Joe Bradley is a cheater. She knows that he's always been like this and all that stuff, but like he's different with her. And like, listen, I'm not trying to defend Joe Bradley, but I could see where you are acting like an asshole to all these other women, and you've been acting like a piece of shit and been a cheater to all these other women because it's not the woman that you wanted and the woman that you like actually wanted to be with and take care of. And now that you have her, there's no reason to cheat. There's no reason to be like this because you are finally with the person that you've always wanted to be with. So like, I feel like Joe Bradley maybe always kept like an open mind about stuff, and then like and always tried to kind of be in like the openness of a relationship just in case Maddie wanted to date him. And now they're finally dating, and they've been together for a little while, but they seem to be really happy. They're like best friends, they're having a great time, and now they're like just best friends that have like sex, so they're just living the best life over there. But TJ is very adamant again that Joe Bradley's a cheater. And he's very much like TJ is like really wants to expose the cheaters this season. Like that's like his vibe. It's like, I'm going to expose all the cheaters this season. And it's like, okay, that's fun. Like, but like, is that all you got? And the thing is like TJ is not friends with Joe Bradley, but he is friends with Maddie. So that part of the relationship is very awkward and very weird. So we have a new character in play. His name is Michaels. And he is a 21-year-old, and he has come in, and now he is the manager. And I think the manager previously was Emmy, I think. And she is not anymore because she wanted to be somewhere else, but she wanted to be here. And Level was like, nah, like I can't take it anymore. So now they have Michaels, and Michaels seems really nice and pretty mature for a fucking 21-year-old. More mature than these people, which is fascinating to me because I think all these people are in their 20s and 30s. And everybody seems to like mutually, the entire cast seems to love him. Thinks he's so fun, thinks he's so cool, but he's also seems to be like a boss, like holds people accountable, making phone calls, telling people where to be, telling people to do their shit, get their job done. At the same time though, everybody just seems to love him, and nobody seems to be like really upset when like he tells them what to do. But apparently TJ is having like a big crush on him. And they had a moment where they like went out, they went in an Uber, they had like a drunken kiss. And then basically like TJ was like, you're 21, I don't know if I want this. And has basically been like keeping it at arm's length and kind of ignoring him. And Michael's being a 21-year-old is like, I don't understand what's going on. Like you hang out with me, you kiss me, but now all of a sudden you don't want to spend any time with me. You're really weird. But then you'll come to work and give me a coffee. And then we'll go to like a party at my party and you get me a drink. Like, you're not making any sense. Like, just say what you want to do or leave me the fuck alone. And which is so funny because, again, this kid's 21 years old and has a better understanding and is more mature than this entire group. I found that to be very interesting. We have a new bartender named Austin. He likes to lift logs on Instagram with his big bad abs and stuff. Clearly, he's a player. TJ knows him. Clearly he's a fuckboy because they all are. They all fuckboys. Emmy and Maddie are friends again. They're hanging out. They're spending more time together. They're having their boyfriends. Like the four of them are getting together, hanging out and spending more time together. And Maddie and Brad have decided that they're going to be cool now as long as they basically don't get in each other's shit. Like you leave my stuff alone, I'll leave your stuff alone, and we'll be fine. They're not friends, but they're just like good. They're on common ground, which I appreciate. And Will apparently has been coming into Republic and has been talking shit about Emmy. And basically Joe Bradley has decided that he is no longer going to be involved in any of that. Like no matter what Will says, no matter what happens, he's just, because him and Will are like not friends, but like Will come into Republic and just talk mad fucking shit about Emmy. And Joe Bradley's basically like, not my chair, not my problem. Like, I learned from last season. Y'all didn't want to hear it. Y'all didn't want to deal with it. Will's a cheater. You don't like that. You don't want to hear that. So I'm fucking done. So he knows that Will's being a dick. He knows that Will's saying these crazy ass things about Emmy behind her back and talking these horrible things behind her back. That he's just like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm not having this conversation. Everybody's getting along. Like, Emmy and Maddie are getting along. I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm like, maturity? Growing up? What's going on? Like, I don't understand. Joe Bradley and Maddie arguing over the balloons was such a fucking... That was so real. I was like, that's my life. This is my life. Like, they're having a party for Michaels. They're setting it up. They're so excited because everybody loves him. And Maddie, like, worked really hard to get these really nice balloons. She had a whole thing of them. She told Joe Bradley, like, hold on to them. Don't let them fly away. Like, please don't let them fly away. He's like, I won't. Goofing off. He's like, oh, they're going to fly away. And then he ends up letting them fucking fly away. And Maddie's sitting there crying. And he's like, it's just balloons. And she's like, but I did this and I did that. And like, I worked and I wanted to get them right. And I made sure I got the right ones. And I did this and I worked all that. And Joe Bradley's like, And Maddie's just like, sometimes I don't need you to tell me what the fuck's going on and tell me what happened and tell me to calm down. I need you to just give me a hug and go, everything's going to be fine. It's okay. I see where you're coming from. And to watch that was like the most like realistic boyfriend-girlfriend argument ever over something really fucking dumb. But the boyfriend just not understanding, like, I'm just upset. Just let me be upset and we can move on. And it was just I was like, this is so real. Over balloons. We're arguing over fucking balloons. Like, genuinely, Joe Bradley's not wrong. Like, who gives a shit about these balloons? But, like, Maddie cares about the balloons. So just let her care about the balloons. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't understand. I love that something that I wish that we had in Vanderpump Rules was messy gays. Like, I love that Southern Hospitality has a main cast member that is gay and is having another relationship with, having a relationship conversation with another gay, and they're, like, having all these problems, and they're fighting about all these things. And one thing I wish Vanderpump Rules did, which was mind-blowing to me that it could, like, listen, I understand that Vanderpump Rules, very much, the base of that show was, like, this core group of friends. And, like, to get outside of that core group of friends is going to be really hard to do. And they basically got, like, lightning in a bottle with James and with Lala, okay? But James had a massive connection to the group. Lala, not so much, but, like, they got lucky to have them come on. I just wish that they would have had more queer, gay, like, representation. Like, I understand that, like, Lala is bisexual and Ariana is bisexual and, like, they had Billie Lee come on, but, like, Billie Lee wasn't, like, a main character. Like, we didn't focus on her and her life. And I just wish that they would have had, like, a cast member, like, a main character cast member. I think Katie's bisexual, too. That was, like, a lesbian or, like, a gay man. Like, hardcore in the group. We learned about their lives. We learned about everything going on for them, and they were a main cast member. Like, their show was literally in the heart of, like, Gayville. And the fact that, like, they didn't have that representation on the show was always so fucking weird to me, and I didn't like that because all these people have gay best friends and have gay people on the show. And I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to be cast members or what, but I'm just like, that was such a missed opportunity, and I just kind of love to finally have, like, a main character on a show with a group of straights, and one of the main characters is a gay man. Like, I want to watch gay man messiness. I want to watch gay relationships. Like, I want to see these things, and I'm so excited to have that, even if it's messy and weird. Guess what? The straights, we're fucking crazy. We're messy. We're stupid. We do dumb shit, okay? The gays have every right to do the same thing. So I just love seeing that representation, even if it is, toxic and messy. I'll still take it, okay? We see that Preston is another little sexy gay that's, like, Mr. Michaels has his eye on, and TJ's kind of jealous, and it's like, bro, you can't be jealous if you're like, he's 21, I don't know if I can be friends with him, I don't know if I can date him, like, I don't know how I feel, he has to go to classes in college, blah, 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 and it's like, it seems like he's a lot more mature than you are, and you're supposedly the mature adult, and he is not. I don't really know if I comprehend that. TJ and Joe Bradley, like, genuinely, like, hate each other's fucking guts, and Joe Bradley really does try to have a conversation, and TJ's just, like, not having it. But TJ wants to talk shit and talk about this relationship all the goddamn time. But then when Joe Bradley finally has a conversation, finally is like, let's just talk. Like, just get it over with and let's just have an adult conversation. TJ's like, I'm not ready. It's like, no, you're ready. You just want it to be on your terms. You just want it to be when you want to talk. I will say that Joe Bradley was coming off a little aggressive. So it definitely didn't feel like And I'm sure he was a little intoxicated at the time. So it's kind of like, you know, this is clearly not the time and the place that we should be having this conversation. But maybe, like, let's not have it right now. Can we talk about it in a couple of days when we're both sober, we're both in a good space, and we don't have other people around us? Let's do that. And it's just like, TJ's just like, I'm not ready. I'm like, bitch, you are ready. Cut the crap. You are ready. You're just being dramatic. Like, stop. So we'll see how that relationship goes. And allegedly, I think, ready? Here we go. This is what I think. Are you ready? I think TJ has a crush on Joe Bradley. And doesn't like that Joe Bradley is doing all this other stuff with these other people. And that Joe Bradley, he wants to kind of like, if I can't have him, nobody can have him. And I think that's kind of like the gay rumor starting kind of things. Like, I just feel like it's not a good thing to start rumors about people's sexuality. Even though, you know, I joke on here all the time about, like, oh, I think he's gay. But to full-blown, like, never shut the fuck up and start these ridiculous rumors about someone's sexuality is harmful. And I don't know why, as a queer person, you would want to do that to another queer person, allegedly queer person, and out them like that. Like, let them be gay if they want to be gay. Let them be the person they want to be on their own. And the fact that they previewed, like, there's allegedly, like, TJ's trying to expose Joe Bradley as being a like, closeted gay guy. I'm just like, oh, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Oh, my God. So that's basically where we're at with Southern Hospitality. And it was a very, like, short, sweet, and easy, like, it was like a catch-up episode. It's basically like, where's everybody now? And where do we stand in all these relationships? And let's just kind of go from there. So I'm hoping moving forward, now that we're kind of up to date on where everybody is in relationships and, like, conversations and stuff, I hope that now we can move on to, like, actual tea and drama and conversations that are funny and hilarious and dark and crazy and scandalous. Like, that's what I'm kind of hoping for. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we are with Southern Hospitality. Okay, last but certainly not least. I can't get over the song. I hate it. Like, you know when you just, like, hate a song so much, or, like, you hate something so much, but it gets stuck in your head, so you start saying it all the time? That's every time I watch Southern Charm. I just constantly, like, walk around the house. I'm just like, I can't help myself. Okay, so we're on season 10. You guys, Southern Charm has been on for 10 seasons. And let me tell you right now, I've been up and down, okay? There's some seasons that I've watched. There's some seasons I have no fucking desire. I'm not an OG Southern Charm watcher, but I know other people are. But, like, it's just one of those shows where, like, I know the players. I kind of know the game a little bit. I know where everybody kind of stands with each other. But I haven't really, like, taken the time to sit my ass down and, like, watch the show. You know what I'm saying? But I've always known what's been going on Southern Charm. You know what I'm saying? So, season 10, episode 4... basically, I will not take any Madison slander on my platforms, okay? Madison is my favorite Bravo celebrity right now. I love her so much. I'm sure one day she'll, like, burn that down like Lala did for me and Erica did for me at one point. But for now, Madison is just my girl. I just love her so much. Like, I love how quick-witted she is. I love how she doesn't take any of the boys' bullshit. I love how honest she is. I love her and her husband. I love her son. I love everything. She's so fucking beautiful. It's disgusting. I just love her so. She is currently my favorite Bravo celebrity. Hands down. I'm obsessed with her. Her hair, like, always looks like it's just, like, fucking made by angels in heaven. Like, I love her. So I will not be taking any Madison slander on this platform. I will take criticism, constructive criticism. But as of now, if you hate Madison, I don't care. I love her, and that's just where we're going to be, okay? So we finally get introduced to Sally, and basically she is works in the medical field. She works with robots that help fix spines and do spine surgeries, and she's basically a fucking genius. She makes $400 fucking grand a year, doesn't need a man, but we already know that she has hung out and dated allegedly for like 3 months, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Gaston. I can't get fucking over this guy's name, Gaston. Like, who names their kid Gaston? I can't get over it. Like, you know for a fact, like, you're always going to be in reference to Beauty and the Beast. Like, hello? And Gaston has, like, this connection with Sally, and then Sally basically is like, I hate Gaston. He's a loser. Like, Taylor's with a guy that's a mean person. Fuck him. And we kind of can't tell what we think about the situation because, like, Gaston is, like, not gonna be, like, he is kind of like Brett with Madison. Like, yeah, I'll date you and I love you and I want to be with you, but, like, I'm not going to be a cast member on your show. Like, I'll talk and I'll kind of be there, but like, I don't want to be like a part of this bullshit and this drama. And I honestly don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. Like, why the fuck would you want to be? I don't blame Brett for not wanting to be a part of and hang out with the other guys. And like, you can tell like Brett's not trying to be fucking friends with these guys. And I'm assuming Gaston is not either. So it's very interesting. And I do understand why Taylor would want to protect her partner if that's how they feel. But also, I'm feeling a little bit of stank around Mr. Gaston. Okay, I just feel a little stench, that's all. But Gaston wants Taylor to move in, and they've been together for 7 months, I think it is. But Taylor's very much like, I'm not moving in until we're engaged. And it's like, so you won't move in, but you'll have sex with each other. All over the apartment, all over his apartment, all over your apartment. But, oh no, unless we're engaged, we're not living together. The fuck? You basically already are. So why don't you just like split the rent, make it cheaper, call it good, and just live together. Like, I don't understand this whole, like, we can't live together until we're married. It's like, why? I would rather live with you before we get married. So now I know if I can put up with your bullshit all the time. Can I put up with where and when you clip your toenails? Can I put up with, the hacking and the coughing that you do? Can I put up with your stinky farts? Can I put up with when you're sick and you're vomiting in the middle of the night? Can I put up with whatever thing that you're obsessed with? Whether that's like, a TV show, video games, playing cards, I don't know, porn. I don't know. Can I deal with your addictions? These are the things that I want to know before I sign a legally binding document. That's just me though, okay? I don't really care if we've had, if we've porked or not, okay? I care about where do you clip your toenails? And how often do you? And are you a clean person? That's what I want to know, okay? And so the fact that she's like, we're not moving in together until I have a ring, I'm like, okay, whatever, Taylor. Good fucking luck with that one. Good luck with that one. So Shep apparently called Taylor and asked to go have coffee or an ice cream. I'm like, sir, are you not a 40-something-year-old man? Like, we're not going to have tea and crumpets. And can we just have a little ice cream with my ex, who I treated like absolute fucking dog shit to? Also, she wasn't that great either. But, like, no, we're not meeting up like that. And then when Taylor's like, okay, is that okay with, like, your new girlfriend? And his, Sienna. And he's like, oh, well, like, I don't know. I haven't really, like, talked to her about that. It's like, are you not the most disrespectful piece of shit ever? Like, why have you not talked to Sienna about that? Why have you not, like, been like, hey, what do you think about this? Would this be okay? Would you be comfortable with that? Nope, not a fucking care in the world. Why? Because he doesn't care. Because I'm pretty sure he's probably still cheating on Sienna. I don't even know if they're still together. Are they still together? Don't know. Don't care. Let's see. Craig has decided, oh, this is so sad. You guys, watching, like, Craig and Paige's relationship in retrospect is really sad now that they've broken up, because I actually really like Craig and Paige, and I find it really sad when you found somebody who like really gets you and understands you and loves you and cares about you, but you're just not at the same stage like in your life. Like, you know what you want, they know what they want, but you don't want it at the same time. I can't imagine what that's like, because Craig and Paige seem to just like really love each other, and they have this like fun little quirkiness with each other. But you can tell like Paige is very independent. She does her own thing. She wants her own life. She wants her own stuff. She doesn't care if she has an apartment here, apartment there. She doesn't care if she has a home in Charleston and a home in New York. She doesn't give a shit. Like, she loves her life. She loves her independence. But you can tell that Craig is trying so hard to like make her a part of his house and make her a part of, trying to kind of like almost like convince her to move. And it's like, why does she have, like, I don't like that Paige is being, and I'm not saying Craig is doing this, but I don't like that Paige is almost made out to be the villain for wanting to be independent, for not wanting to be pregnant right now, for not wanting to have a child, because physically and mentally, she's not ready. And also, like, when you're in a part of your career and you have children, like, whether you want to admit it or not, that will take like a back burner to your children if you're a good parent. And so I can't imagine like how hard that is for Paige to have to deal with, and how badly Craig, because I think Craig would be a great husband and a great like dad. And the fact that he can't have those things, but he, not because anybody's like the bad guy or horrible, but because you're with a very independent person who knows what they want and is not going to settle for anything less. I can't imagine how hard that is, especially where they live, where like Southerners are very much like, gotta get married and have babies. And listening to like fucking Austin and Shep try to like tell him how he should be and like, oh, what about this? And oh, what about that? Meanwhile, he's been in a 3-year relationship, like fully committed and loved and like cared about this person, where you have a new fucking flavor of the goddamn week. Like, what leg do you have to fucking stand on? 0. And it's fucking annoying. So we find out that Craig is freezing his sperm, and he kind of plays it off like him and Paige kind of like agreed to it. But I think really it's like Paige was like, go off if you want to do that, have a great time. Like, if you want to do that for you, I'm not going to stop you. But like, that's not it didn't seem like they like mutually agreed on it. It was more of like Craig said he's going to do it, and Paige is like, cool, go do that. And I just feel bad because like, I think Paige, I'm going to assume Paige got to the point because they seemed very amicable in their breakup, even though she broke up with him. But it seems the vibe I would get from the whole situation is that basically like Paige was like, we're wasting each other's time by trying to make each other people that we're not going to be. Like, you want me to want to have kids and I don't want to have them right now. I want you to come to New York and get away from all these dumbasses here in South Carolina, like in you know, the South, and you don't want to do that. And I'm not going to make you be somebody you don't want to be, and you shouldn't be making me be. Like, we should be with people that want the same things we want, and we aren't there. And as much as we love each other and we respect each other and we care about each other, like, we're making each other be people that we're not, and that's not okay. And that, oh my God, I can't even imagine how hard that is. And obviously freezing his sperm, like, it doesn't affect him and Paige, like, in any way. Like, he can still freeze it for future, you know, situations, which I think is super smart. Whether, like, it's with Paige or somebody else, I still think that was really smart of him to do just in case. And I feel bad sitting there listening to him come up with, like, all these reasons and excuses. And it's like, he's doing it because, like, in hopes that he can have a baby with Paige one day. And it does get to a point where you feel like you're at a certain age that you're just like, it's almost like irresponsible to have children at a certain age because like you can't be with them as long. You don't know how long you're going to be alive. You don't know how much energy you have. Like, it is scary when you get to your 30s and you're like, can I have kids in like my 40s? Is that like reasonable? Like, how it does get a little scarier. I will agree with that. I didn't know that Whitney was the executive producer of Southern Charm. And it's very much giving now that I know that, it's very much giving Lisa Vanderpump of like, just because you're the executive producer of the show that I'm watching doesn't mean I want you on the show. Like, I would be good if Lisa Vanderpump was not on Vanderpump Rules the last like 4 seasons. I would have been totally fine with that. Like, there was no need for her to be there, to have any conversations with them, to lead any plot points. Like, we're good. And I feel like the same with Whitney. It's like, why are you here? We don't need you. We don't need you to be part of the show. And I know some people are like, well, he's an OG and he started it and he was there at the beginning and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean he needs to be on the show. What you're saying doesn't mean he needs to be on the show. He doesn't need to be on the show. He's good. Like, executive produce and go over there. Or like, be a background character. Like, you don't need to be a part of the conversations. You don't need to be part of storylines. We don't need your opinions on things. We're good. Like, just be in the background. Say, like, hi, how are you? Oh, welcome to this. Like, that's it. Like, when they had the birthday party for his mom, and she's there with, like, one friend that's her age, and then the rest of them are, like, her son's friends, and somehow, like, it's made out, like, the birthday party's for her, and, like, it's just, like, weird to me. It's just so fucking weird to me. And then them having a sit-down conversation about, like, the estate and, like, what they're going to do about it. I'm like, does anybody fucking care? Does anybody care about this? And that just might be because I'm an outsider. Like, I'm not obviously a hardcore OG Southern Charm person. Like, I feel like if I was, in the reverse and someone was telling me how to feel about Vanderpump Rules, I'd be like, shut up, you're not an OG Vanderpump Rule person. You don't know anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I just don't get the need for Patricia and for Whitney to be a part of the show and for like them to have their own scenes. Like, I would be fine with when they were at the polo match thing or whatever the hell they were at, the racetrack, whatever that they were at, and they're there at the party and it's just like, hey, how are you? Oh, hey, how's this? But like, when they start becoming part of the plot, it feels forced. And it's like the same when Lisa Vanderpump was like, was part of certain plots and part of certain situations. It's like, this is scripted. Like, this is just like a plot point to like move certain story parts together because we don't know how else to connect them. And I don't like that, and it's annoying. So I just personally don't need them on my television screens. I'm like, that's fine. Also, what is a death penalty? Can someone comment below what the fuck a death penalty is? Because apparently there's a 46% death penalty when Patricia dies and something to do with Whitney. And I just want to know, like, what is that all about? Okay. So JT and Leva have the conversation, and thank God JT didn't come with a fucking cane. I'm like, I'm going to take this cane and bash him in the head with it. I can't take the cane shit anymore. It drives me insane. Stop with the cane. Oh my God. Like, please stop like, he self-admittedly admitted that it wasn't as bad of an accident as he made it out to be himself. He doesn't need a cane, you guys. I'm sorry. He never did. He never does. Tell me how when he's in his own house last episode and he's fucking walking around with no cane on, but then all of a sudden the second someone comes to the door, the second anybody's around, his cane magically comes out. He doesn't need the cane. It's just a fucking accessory. At this point, it's like a purse. Like, he doesn't actually need the cane. He didn't need it in the first place. Like, for God's sakes, he just wanted sympathy. And everybody was like, okay, JT. And I do kind of agree that, like, I don't really see a world where JT would call Patricia, like, a fucking bitch. Like, I kind of believe that because he's such a fucking mommy's boy. Like, and he's never really talked like that. And he doesn't really talk like that about the women. He mostly talks, like, aggressively and mean about, like, the men. So I don't know. I find that part to be, like, a reach. And again, it feels very much like a storyline that was, like, made up to be talked about. Like, I don't fucking know why that's, like, a thing at all. And I do believe, as much as I love Craig, like, Craig definitely made it up. He is a fucking drama queen. He's just trying to bring up shit. And I do agree with that part, because Craig is a messy little girl, okay? He's very, very messy, very much like, Craig could be a housewife. He would be a great housewife. I think Paige has even mentioned that. Austin and Craig have their podcast, but obviously Austin wants to get drunk all the time and doesn't want to actually be a full-grown fucking adult. And Paige is like, I don't understand why you guys don't have the podcast, like, in your house and go together. And why doesn't he come to your house so you could have, like, a studio? And it's like, well, because he's too busy getting drunk and being hungover, he doesn't have the time to just drive his ass over to the studio and, like, do the podcast in person, because they can't do video podcasts. And because watching them on the screen like that, like, isn't fun to watch. So they don't really like, that's really hard to do when you want to do the video version of a podcast, and they live, like, right near each other. Like, what the fuck is the point? Like, it's kind of weird. They talk about how they went on tour a couple times a year, and, like, their podcast, they've done it for a couple of years, and it's been, like, a big thing for them. And very much Craig is, like, living in the real world now. I think Paige really brought him to reality of, like, you can't be a frat boy forever. Whereas Austin and Shep are, like, holding on for fucking dear life to be a 20-something-year-old again. Like, they have no desire to be big business. And I think that's because, I don't know Austin, but obviously Shep's for money. I think, is Austin for money too? But, like, Shep obviously is for money, so he's never really had to worry about growing the fuck up, which must be real nice. And so it's one of those things where it's like, they're trying so hard. And even Craig mentions it at the end, at the last scene with Austin. He is like, you want a drinking buddy, and I'm not your drinking buddy anymore. Like, I want to do things that I love, and the things that I love are my business. I love my business. I love gardening. I love being home. If I want to watch the game, I will watch it in my home that I made that, like, is mine, and it has a pool, and has an outdoors, and, like, has a garden, and, like, I don't want to be out and about doing crazy shit anymore. Like, I don't want to do that. And I think that is a reflection of his relationship with Paige. Like, Paige is a very much, like, she does her business, and then she does her own thing at home. She doesn't want to go out and do these crazy shits if it doesn't have anything to do with work. And I feel like the same is with Craig. Craig's, like, not going to leave the house if it doesn't involve a fucking paycheck anymore. He's like, I'm not 20-something years old anymore. I don't need to do this, like, hustle bustle crazy shit and get hammered and drunk. He has This is the other thing that they don't understand is, like, oh, he's always talking about, you know, his businesses and stuff. It's like, his business is not, like, a decade old. Like, it's a baby business. Like, he has to get out there and promote it and like be boots on the ground and like do the work. And to sit there and say that like his buddy, like Jerry, like does all the work. And it's like, what do you think? Do you think Martha Stewart is like running her every single thing that she touches and does? No. Martha is like, okay, I'll have a homeware line. Okay, pick that pattern. Okay, cool, sounds good. And then shows up for the photos and calls it a day. She has business managers. That's their job. Their job is to do that. You can't have a business just relying on everything yourself. And these dumb fucks wouldn't know that because they don't know how to run businesses. Because they don't have them, okay? They don't have these things. They have mommy and daddy's fucking money, and they can be drunk and stupid as much as they want because mommy and daddy will fix everything for them. Even though they're fucking 40 years old. Grow up. And we see this so many times. We see this in Vanderpump Rules. We see this in so many other shows where the show starts out when they're like in their 20s, and then the show evolves, and one person in the group evolves and becomes a better person, wants to grow the fuck up and wants to change, and the other ones drag them down because they're like, well, I don't understand. Why don't you want to hang out? Why don't you want to go to the bar? Why don't you want to party? Why don't you want to spend time with us? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, because I'm a grown-ass man now, and I don't want to do these things, and I have a business, and like, the other thing is, like, I don't know this to be true, obviously, but I do wonder if one of Craig's things is that he doesn't want to be associated with them as much in a place that he can't control because it is a reflection on Craig if he does stupid shit with these idiots. Like, it reflects on him, which therefore reflects on his business, which therefore reflects on his money. And I wonder if Austin and Shep are jealous that, because they keep mentioning, like, why wouldn't you want to share your wealth and happiness and everything in your life with your best friends? Like, why wouldn't you want to bring them on the journey for that? Blah, 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 blah. I wonder if Austin and Shep are pissed that Craig hasn't included them in his business endeavors and that he's doing it all on his own without them. I wonder if there's a sense of like jealousy in that world. Like the way that they keep mentioning the same thing over and over again, I wonder if it's very much like, well, why did you include us in this business endeavor? Like, why aren't we like making money off of you? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't we freeloading off of you, basically? I get a vibe of that somewhere in there. We get an update on Madison's husband, Brad, who I absolutely love. He's so fucking gorgeous, and he's so sweet, and you can tell he's, like, very nervous when the cameras are on him, but, like, he's trying to talk, but you can tell he's very much, like, I don't want to talk about this at the same time, but basically they found a spot on his kidney, and so they're testing for that to see if that's cancerous, and they're kind of going through that process. I don't know what the up-to-date is on that, but I hope that he's okay, and I hope that he's safe, and I hope that he's happy. And then they have the party for Patricia, and I do love that when they're all bitching and complaining about Craig, that Madison does stick up for Craig, and is like, it's not like he's out there, like, doing, like, crack cocaine. Like, he's not doing drugs. He's not doing, like, he's making a better life for himself. The reason why you're not hanging out with him is because he's trying to make a better life for himself. And he's trying to be a better person. And he built this house and has this pool and has this whole place for you guys to come see him so you guys can spend time together because he's, like, the other thing they don't think about is, like, oh, like, well, when he's home, he doesn't hang out with us. And it's like, because he's been traveling all this time. He's building his business. He's doing all these things. Why would he want to leave his house again when he just left his house for however long? He has a long distance relationship with his girlfriend that he's trying to make work and be better in that department too. Like, why not just go to his house? What the fuck do you two have going on? What does Shep and fucking Austin have going on in their lives? Nothing. So to sit there and act like, oh my God, he did someone. Why don't you guys just go to his house? Just show up at his house and hang out and have a good time. What is it? Like, what satisfaction do you have acting like a child? I don't fucking get it. And I am proud of Craig for standing up for himself, for standing up for his relationship with Paige, and for not, like, putting up with this bullshit anymore and being like, then leave. Like, if you don't want to understand where I'm coming from and how I'm behaving and where my life is going, then just leave. And I don't blame him because they're pains in the asses. Why would you want to be associated with Austin and Shep in any fucking way, shape, or form? Especially Shep. Like, grow the fuck up. I'm over it. But I'm just really, like, you guys, I'm really sad about Craig and about Paige. Like, that just really sucks. I feel really bad for Craig, but I think Paige did the right thing. Like, you don't want to waste people's time. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time. And when they want something so bad and you can't give that to them, you want them to be able to find that in another person, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. Nobody's better than Paige. That's just me, though. I would date Paige, okay? Love her. She's amazing. She's wonderful. You guys, I love you. You're amazing. You're wonderful. I hope you enjoyed these recaps that I've just put out. I'm hoping to do these like once a week of like the shows that I've been watching, my favorite ones and stuff like that, to kind of let you know how I feel about things and what I've watched. I think that's my goal this year, is to just kind of do one video a week, just recapping and talking about whatever I want to talk about. And this week it happened to be Bravo shows. So it's really fun, fresh and clear and cool. I'm not going to be doing any more Vanderpump Rules recaps, and I'm so sorry if that's like kind of what you came here for, but like, one, they take forever to make, okay? And I just don't have that time. These are the videos I have time for, like quick, easy, almost zero editing. Like, this is what I have time for. And also, with everything that's been going on with like James, I feel like the next couple seasons that I would have recapped are very James heavy, and I really don't want to talk about James. I don't, like, in that light. I don't want to talk about him in a positive way. I don't want to find his behavior to be funny. I don't want to give any type of positivity to his behavior. And I feel like when I watch those episodes, when he's drunk and when he's being a pain in the ass, like, there is a sense of jokingness and silliness and, oh, he's so quick and witty and, oh, he says the funniest things and, oh, he's acting crazy and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this man potentially, allegedly, like, hurt women on the show, on the seasons I would be recapping, and hurt Allie. And it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. And then like Jax and how horrible of a person he is. Like, I don't want to talk about these men anymore. I don't want to give them, like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about Jax, and I don't want to talk about James. I want to talk about them present day and their current behaviors. I don't want to talk about their past behaviors and have like some lightness to them. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about who they are right now and their behaviors they are right now. And if that means that they're being horrible people, I want to talk about how that is affecting the current situation, the current people in their life. I just don't want to bring positivity to their horrible behavior that they had in the past that probably led to some very bad situations that we now know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys understand that. But moving forward, I will be talking about current shows and current things that I love on Bravo. And, you know, when The Valley comes out, I'll talk about The Valley. I'm hoping to recap Traitors. I'm hoping to do a lot of those types of recaps too. So we'll see what happens. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Please go down to the description. I always have groups and organizations that I want people to shout out, to help and organize with, or to donate to. And as I always say at the end of all of my videos, please go support small LGBTQIA businesses. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.